Welcome to Jordan. If you're joining me for the first time, hi, I'm Caroline, and I'm in Amman for the very first time. I spent the last week and a half exploring some of Jordan's best highlights and have fallen in love with this country. From its unique experiences such as floating in the Dead Sea and hiking through one of the 7 modern wonders of the world, to getting back to nature camping, hiking and cooking in the Wadi Rum Desert, and discovering what Roman life was like in the country. This morning I explored some of Amman's ancient sites, but this afternoon I aim to depart the touristy closed-off sites and explore through the eyes of a first-timer the vibrant, joyous, welcoming, attack of the senses, modern-day culture that can be found in Amman. We crossed over the main road and now we're into the Gold Souq, and every single shop is a jewellery store. Like, there is nothing in between, it is just chock-a-block. I don't understand like how the competition can work, because there's so much competition.
Continue.
Well, thank you, how are you?
Vegetable,
Come into a restaurant called Hashem, which is a bit of an institution here in Amman. Anyone and everyone will come and eat here, even the Jordanian Royal Family have eaten here. And I know that loads of other YouTubers come here, to the point where as we've come through the courtyard, there was another YouTuber, obviously with a much more professional setup of camera equipment than what I've got, I would say. But it's crazy, like we've been told like just go and take a seat. It was really busy. We've been able to get one inside of the restaurant, but it's become so popular that tables and chairs have just spilled out into the alleyway. And we sat down at a table that obviously someone had just left because there was stuff all over it. They've come and cleared the table, and then they were like, what would you like? And I kind of looked at them. You can tell I'm a visitor, because I was like, is there a menu? And he was like, no menu. So I've just said we'll have like a little bit of everything, so it'll be really interesting to see what comes along. Okay, so in saying that, you know, we'll just kind of have a little bit of everything. This one's quite hot. He definitely said something about baba ganoush, but I'm not too sure, because it looks a bit more like the fava bean thing. I can't remember what that's actually called now, but we had that when we were in the Wadi Rum Desert, and that was lovely. And then we've got hummus. What's really nice is that it's got loads of the olive oil on the top, and we've got some bits of chickpeas. And I'm not too sure what the green stuff is. Normally at the moment when I'm seeing green, I'm thinking pistachios, but I don't think they've put pistachios on top of hummus. And then we've got loads and loads of falafels. I was expecting to eat a lot more falafel in Jordan than what we have done, but every single time I've had them, they've been delicious. And then we've got this plate of vegetables. So we've got mint on the top, we've got tomatoes at the back, we've got some pickled, I don't know, there's some pickled carrots, I think probably pickled cucumber. And then what's really cool is there's just like half a slice of raw onion, and I know that when you're having hummus, if you're not wanting to have like a carb overload with the flatbread, you can take out a leaf of the onion and just use that to scoop up the hummus, and it's much more healthy. And then, of course, the flatbread. And then as he brought all of the food to the table, he said, did we want tea? At which, obviously coming and eating this kind of food, we need to have some Jordanian tea too. That hummus is delicious. I have to confess, we got a little bit hummused out earlier on in the trip. When we were staying in Petra, we went and did a hike at Wadi Rum, and I wasn't really too sure what to do about lunch. We're in the middle of this wadi. We knew that there wasn't going to be anywhere to pick anything up, and so in the end we just got a whole load of flatbread from a bakery, where like the bread was literally falling from the ceiling. And then we went into a corner shop and we picked up this big pot of hummus, and we just ate way too much hummus and flatbread all in one day, and then we were just done. And this is the next proper bit of hummus that we've had, and I was ready for it again. I feel like it's been long enough, and this one is delicious. No, he definitely said baba ganoush, but this really does not look like aubergine at all. I'm not too sure what to make of that. I think I might have gotten a lot of the olive oil scooped in, and then when I got through to the bean bit at the end, I'm almost certain it's beans. It was a little bit nicer. I think I'd like to have another try at that without the epic amounts of olive oil. No, it is a little bit on the bland side, this one. It's not my favourite. It doesn't offend me, but it's just kind of alright.
هاي خبز هاي وجه
Food and drink? 4.5. This here is a butcher's. Now, the sort of meat that they've got in here is nothing like what we would find in a butcher's back home in the UK. Last night when we went out for dinner, we weren't expecting for it to be anything special, so I didn't go out with the proper camera, but on the menu it had lamb's brain or sheep's brain, and I couldn't resist, so I will flick back to some footage from last night, but I'm afraid it was just taken on my phone, so the quality is not going to be as great. But I'm assuming something in here, and certainly you've got the lamb's heads in the inside of this butcher's. I'm not too sure if you have to buy the entire head in order to be able to get the brain, or maybe if the brain's something in here, but to me it's just absolutely fascinating. So we've come to this very fancy restaurant, and on the menu was a meze plate of sheep's brain, which I've heard is quite an Arabic delicacy, so when we're over here I feel like we've only just got to try it. So I have to confess, it smells amazing. I think there's some kind of parsley in there, it might be like a bit of garlic and onions, so I'll just start with one piece. And I think you're supposed to have it with the bread, but rather than trying to mask the taste, since I'm having it for the very first time, I want to have a go at just eating it as is. The ham feels so tender, the fork just went through it, no problem. They've pickled it with something, it's like super vinegary, but it does not taste at all like meat. The texture isn't even like meat either. It's like, it's super soft. It's like a, I suppose like mozzarella, really similar texture to mozzarella, maybe even a little bit softer than what mozzarella is, but you know when you've got like an uncooked mozzarella ball, it's like that. It's like no other meat. Meat is much chewier than that. I like sheep's brain. Wow. And the size of the spring onions. Left or right? Left. Oh. Fish, and there's a cat, surprise, surprise. Wow, look at these ones. Oh wow. Shukran. One just flipped and I didn't quite catch it. Oh, it's video.
Very good.
Shukran.
Yeah, I'm from
Where am I from? England, London.
London.
Yes. Yeah.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you, shukran.
يا كوشي يا ابن الكلب يا ابو عنقف عريضه.
Should be getting you to take me on a tour for this.
Dates.
Where to next, Mr. Guide?
That way.
That way. It's huge. Shukran.
Yeah. Maybe back in. Maybe let's go down here. Smell.
What does it smell of?
Everything and anything. Spices. Now it smells of cleaning. Like a pickle stuff.
Oh, it's like a luminous pink.
More pickle. Nuts. What type? I have no idea. Orange. A mountain of salad.
أول سفتة
So he's put a really lovely lid on top and he's like, I don't know, cling filmed it up. But what I really love the most about this, of course it's really busy now, but if you swing the camera just over there and have a look at what the shop is selling over there. It's like everything is just in one place.
So I'm doing around the teeth. No, I don't know where. Let's go this way.
Thank you, shukran.
Look at the cinnamon sticks. I think
Cinnamon logs.
now we seem to have come to Breadwell. So that's where all the produce is. We're about to walk to is how it gives you all the utensils to cook it with. Okay, there's one shop that gave you all the things you need to cook it with.
Also, can I just point out?
Yeah.
There is a road sign in the middle of a pedestrianised market.
Yeah. If you turn around, those things.
Yeah.
Whilst you're meant to use it for water, I've seen people fill up their cars with it.
Petrol.
Yeah. Oh.
It's a video. Shukran.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's it. We survived.
Oh, that was too much fun. I didn't want that to come to an end.
Well, it's not as big as Istanbul, just as crazy.
I'd say more fun.
Yeah,
Way
more fun. Yeah, we've got dried lemon over there, watch out. And saffron flower. Dried roses.
I guess for the rose water.
Yes. So not marshmallow, I think that's the thing. Like this first. Yeah, so you'll have these all into standard tea. There's no one in it. There's no one in the truck. And they're honking the horn at it.
طلعوا وقعوا صوروا فيكم يلا خلصونا.
Hey boss, your name?
I'm Caroline, and what's your name?
We Ala.
Allah. Nice to meet you, Allah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Shukran. Bye.
Bye.
I kept on seeing people everywhere with these really refreshing looking drinks. We've come across a stall on the side of a really busy intersection, and that's obviously just been freshly pressed. That is gorgeous. One JD as well. Bargain. This city is amazing. I've absolutely loved our time here. I don't think you probably really need more than a full day and night time. I mean, we've stayed for 3 nights at this hotel, but that's because we've arrived late on the Thursday evening and then we went up to Jerash on the Friday. We spent all day Saturday exploring Amman, obviously, until like the sun is going down, but I'm sure we'll head out in a little bit, and then we fly home first thing tomorrow morning. So we've been quite fortunate in that we've had, or we're going to have, 3 evenings here. And I think the city really does come alive in the evenings, but even during the daytime it's just fantastic. It's like a party for the senses, the amount of sounds that are going on, the amount of smells that are going on, and the people are just so friendly and so welcoming. But at the same time, as with just about any city, when you go and explore it, it gets very exhausting. So we've come back to our hotel for the evening, for an early evening, just to get a little bit of coffee, sit down on the rooftop, watch the sun go down, because we've obviously got this amazing view over the city, and you can see the citadel up there in the background. And how much did that come to?
1 dinar 10.
1 dinar 10.
Which is about £1.20.
Bargain, that's our dinner.
Yeah.
Tonight's our third night here in Amman, and when we came up to Rainbow Street on the very first night, it was a Thursday, which is a little bit like back home on a Friday, because obviously it's the religious day the next day. So the street was absolutely heaving, but we were so tired after the drive up here that we just didn't bring out the camera, and I was kind of hoping to capture that this evening. And of course, because it's a Saturday night tonight, which is like a Sunday, everyone's got work and school the next day, it's just not quite got the same buzz to it. But we have gone back to, it's called Quds, and they do this, it's almost like a panini of like bread, and then they've got inside of here some squished down falafel balls, and there's some hummus. I think there might be some kind of like chili sauce in there, and some other like fresh vegetables. And we got this on the very first night, and we only went with one because we then got like a bit of shawarma as well from another place, and we were shocked, having come from places like the Red Sea and Petra, to then get charged not even 1 Jordanian dinar. So yeah, 1 Jordanian dinar 10 in order for the two of us to have one of these each. And yeah, just kind of sitting in one of the squares in amongst some of like the street sellers, and we've got some like skateboarders, but it's just not quite as heaving as what it was 2 nights ago. Yeah, it's good, and it was also made fresh. And we saw the guy actually making the falafel balls, and like he made them with such speed, and then he was putting them in the deep fat fryer. So yeah, it was quite an impressive sort of show to watch as well. شكرا. شكرا. So we've now come down off of Rainbow Street to downtown Amman, and we've come along to Habibah Sweets, which is yet another quite an institution for Amman. They have what's known as Kunafe, which is a cheese. I believe that's some kind of pastry, which is like the brown stuff, and then there's some pistachio on the top and is doused in it's either like a rose water or maybe just sugary water of some description. There's actually a dessert even though it's cheese, and I just have to tell myself that it's kind of like cheesecake, I guess, that we have at home, which is a dessert, and it's steaming hot. That tastes so wrong and yet so right, all at the same time. You can really taste the cheese, unlike a cheesecake, and it's super stringy like a mozzarella. I'm not too sure what type of cheese it is, but then that sugary kick that you get from the syrup and the little bit of pistachios on the top is just delightful. I'm going to be eating pretty much all of this, I think. But Kunafe Name, and the other one Kunafe Kunafe Khashne. So I'm finding out that this is actually Kunafe Name, and there's another one that they were describing as being like hair, and that's Kunafe Khashne. Oh, it's like a medium sort of sweetness, I guess, and that maybe like the next one's like sweeter. How many do you want? One more? Yeah. Thank you. Oh, no problem. Shukran. Really sadly, we've come to the end of our time in Jordan, but perhaps just our time in Jordan for 2021, as tomorrow morning we have to leave pretty much straight after breakfast for our flight back to London. But Amman has been like the icing on top of the cake. We'd met some travellers earlier on when we were down in Wadi Rum who'd said that they weren't so keen on the city, but we have absolutely adored it, from the calm start this morning of going to those Roman sites through to then the real life hustle and bustle and the meeting of people. We haven't always caught it on camera very well, but the Jordanian people have honestly, hand on heart, been some of the friendliest and most welcoming people that we have come across on our travels to date. And this Jordan is country number 40 for me, and that's saying something. Out of the other 39 countries, Jordanians are definitely up there as being some of the most friendly people. As a country, I would highly recommend coming and visiting, and I'm sure I'll be back again sometime in the future.